Ramo, Ram Ram, Hari Hari. Hare Krishna. So, thank you very much for your invitation. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, we are hearing you.
Okay. Where are you? Africa?
Yes, Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Yes.
How is the weather there?
It's very good, Prabhu. This Kavikanapura, that's your servant.
Not too cold? Not too cold for you?
No, not good. Not good. It's okay. It's normal.
Thank you very much for inviting me to your Bhagavatam class. Hare Krishna. So, Hare Krishna Prabhu's
Grace Shivas also is in the class. Is Grace Shivas Prabhu?
Shivash.
Yes, he's there.
Hare Shivash.
Kusha Prabhu is there also.
Hare Krishna, Jananivas Prabhu.
Hare Bol. Good luck.
Now, obeisances to you. I'm back in Ghana now.
See you yesterday, a few days ago also. Good luck.
Yes. Thank you. We're back in Ghana. With your blessings, we're in Ghana now.
Okay. Please give me your blessings that I can speak something.
You already have all the blessings from Srimad Prabhupada. We need your blessings.
Okay. So, he's describing the creations of the Lord. This is a secondary creation. He's been describing how the Lord was sleeping for the past 130 million, 1,300 million years. Then Lord Brahma here again, he woke up to create the world according to the desire, the will of the Lord. He had his savor to recreate the world again. And they were looking over the lotus that Brahma was staying on. And it had just been through an annihilation. So, you know that universe, it was a devastation. Yeah, you can imagine all that fire that burned throughout the universe, and all the rains come and washed everything away for millions of years. You can imagine how dirty it was. He looked over the lotus and he saw, the charcoal and burnt wood and water, and everything was blackish, and he thought we'd have to have a Maha cleanup of the universe. So, describing here how Narad, he has a transcendental body. And Prabhupada's given an example that just as a sleeping man awakens in his same body, so like that, Narad, when you go to sleep at night, you wake up, you got the same body. So during the partial creation here, the person awakens in sleep, same body as he went to sleep in. So he didn't get destroyed, his body, whereas all the other bodies had to go into this devastation. Krishna says although they went through in yoga nidra in sleeping situation, but Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that soul, there is no birth nor death, not burned by the wind or anything like that, wet by the water. So although the universe was undergoing a dramatic change, say the spirit souls weren't affected by this. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, it's not burned, not cut, not dried by the wind. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that my transcendental body never deteriorates. So, spiritual body is realized in three aspects. Like Krishna reveals himself in three aspects also, as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Nedanditat tatvitas tatkagyaman Brahmaniti Paramatni Bhagavaniti Sattati. The learned transcendentalists understand this, the absolute truth in three aspects, as Brahman, as Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So living entity also, he can realize himself in three aspects. He can realize that he is Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. He is Brahman, it is his very nature. He can realize that spiritual nature or his spiritual identity as Brahman. And the next realization is localized realization, that Paramatma is localized within the heart of everyone. So you can also realize yourself in the heart. Prabhupada said it's localized in the heart, and you can actually realize, see it, or perceive it as being egg-shaped. It's glowing. So that's localized in everybody's heart. Hare Krishna. Hare Lord. Yeah, and then one can realize himself as just like as a personality, with the spiritual body. So like father, like son. So Brahmaneti, Paramatma, Bhagavaneti, just as Supreme Lord manifests himself in these three aspects. So the living entity also can realize three aspects: his self as Brahman, and as he localized in the heart, egg-shaped glowing, and as a person in the spiritual realm with who serve the Lord there and in the spiritual body. So that's his eternal spiritual form. So Narad Muni had been revealed to him his eternal spiritual form. And so therefore the annihilations couldn't really affect Narad Muni. As Prabhupada says, he appears and disappears in his own transcendental body, which is without distinction of body and soul, like the conditioned living beings. So in conditioned living beings, there is a distinction between the soul and the body. But for those who have realized itself, there is no distinction between the body and the self. It's all, everything is spirit. So this is how Narad is able to move around, fly from one planet to another with his Veena, chanting Hare Krishna, Radha Krishna, and he's delivering all the living entities in the world with the chanting of the holy names of God. He is establishing devotional service. preacher, and he saved so many great personalities to become immortalized. And we have Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruva, who met Narad Muni and he preached to them. So many other personalities. And so he's a universal preacher. He's our hero, Narad Muni, for your preaching movement. And Narad Muni is our hero. He goes everywhere, your whole universe preaching. We're preaching in a few countries. But Narad Muni, he's a few planets. There was a Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he was living here in Mayapur, he was taking his walk up the road, Bhaktisiddhanta's Marg, the road, outside the road of ISKCON property. There's a Bhajan Kutir is, grew up into Mayapur, I hope. So the Bhajan Kutir is there, Prabhupada's Bhajan Kutir, the road. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was walking on that road with some of his disciples who told us this story. And he stopped walking. And he looked up in the sky and he said, how degraded this age of Kali Yuga is. He said, even on Chandra Loka, the moon planet, even on Chandra Loka, he said they are becoming so degraded. Kali Yuga is very bad. And his disciple, Damodar Maharaj, he told us, he said, then we understood that what is the meaning of Jagat Guru. We hear Jagat Guru. Jagat Guru, well, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, we knew that going on in different planets. And many of his disciples, they considered that when he left this planet, he went to Chandra Loka. And Prabhupada mentioned one time in a class in Mayapur that he said, my Guru Maharaj, he came into this world with a mission to spread Krishna consciousness. When that mission was completed, fulfilled, he said, then he went to another place to do exactly the same thing, to spread Krishna consciousness. He said, this is called Nitya Siddha. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also was one of those great personalities. Nitya Siddha. Come down to deliver all the living entities with the process of devotional service, specifically the chanting of Mahamantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So Narad is born along with Lord Brahma and other rishis. Who is it? Maitreya Rishi. Like Marichi, Angira, Maitreya. These are all great sages that appear in the universe. And they're all created from different limbs of Brahma. And there's different types of rishis that are born in this universe. And these rishis are created to establish Dharma throughout the universe. So there's different types of rishis representing different types of dharmic activities. It's like excuse me. It's like Ilamuni. He's establishing the Sankhya philosophy. So he's the rishi in charge of that Sankhya philosophy. Then you get like Jaimini Rishi. Jaimini Rishi has a common amongst the philosophies, atheism. But it's there in the Vedas. Gautam, who establishes logic, Vyasadeva, who reveals the Puranas, in Narada, where he reveals the Pantaratra. Before we have family gotras, where different families have different rishis. So this is in the culture part of the world, especially in India, we have this system here. And each family have a rishi who guides them. And the family will take guidance from those rishis, generation after generation. That will be their guides. So these rishis are there to establish the code of Dharma for humankind. And so by following these instructions from the rishis, hopefully then they come into into contact with the devotional aspect. And then they become perfect. It's like Narada Muni. He was he made a mistake. Brahma come down and chastise him for his mistake in not presenting Krishna Bhakti. Clearly when he was writing the Puranas and everything. Because his guru said you've emphasized too much on karma, kanda, etc. Already people know how to enjoy. Nobody goes and takes a guru to learn how to have sense gratification. Already there's plenty of that there in the Vedas. So, because you haven't presented this so clearly, they're just sticking to those parts of the Vedas which deal with sense gratification. So you made a mistake. So his guru pointed out the mistake and told him that they should concentrate more on presenting Krishna and the path of Krishna consciousness or bhakti to Krishna. And so by their devotional aspects of the teachings, one can go back to home, back to Godhead, if they don't make the mistake. It's very easy to become bewildered in this material world. Even through the Vedas, you can become bewildered. There's a statement by Devi Purnamasi, Nandimukhi. Anyway, they're speaking to Purnamasi. information, one story. And there's a battle between Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva. Krishna wins, beats Lord Shiva. In another Purana, it describes the same battle, but Lord Shiva wins the battle. So they're asking these questions of Purnamasi. How is it like that? One Purana says this story, and one says completely opposite. And Purnamasi said, yes, you can be cheated sometimes by the other Puranas. They can cheat you. But the Srimad Bhagavatam, it will never cheat you. Srimad Bhagavatam is, in the very beginning, it takes out all the cheating processes. Dhamma, and establishes devotional service, establishes Krishna as the personality of God, establishes the living entity's relationship with this world and with Krishna. The Srimad Bhagavatam will never cheat you. So, therefore, it's easy to become bewildered. So, there's another system, Vedic system, called Rini and Kinkara. Rini means debtor. The moment you are born, you're a debtor. You have 6 debts to pay back. And the purpose of life is to serve and pay back these debts. It's like you were indebted to your mother and father. They gave you this physical body. So you're a debtor for them. And they got their bodies from the ancestors. So we have to worship the ancestors to get free from that debt. The government who makes roads and things like that and looks after the citizens, you're a debtor to them. The demigods, they're giving heat and light throughout the universe. We're indebted to them. So the purpose of life, according to this statement in the Veda, is that that is what you are supposed to be doing. I'm free from that. So that's okay for people who want to stay in the universe. But if you want to get out of the universe, then you can. You won't follow this process of Rini and Kinkara, the servant and the debtor. Just like it's like a Pitri Puja. Pitri is forefathers. You have to worship the forefathers. So you do Pitri Puja, offer pinda, offer foodstuffs to the deceased person's fathers, the children. They worship their father. Even in any shop in India, you go out to Navadvipa, and before they start their business, they would have a little bit of incense or something, or some chandans. Have a picture of the grandfather or something like that. And they do this little bit of puja for the pictures. The father is in Pitraloka, and then you do this little puja every day. The sons will worship the father. And then when the father leaves, then the next generation comes and their sons will worship their father. They may worship their grandfather, etc. Otherwise, they may not. But the idea is that the moment you stop worshipping the pictures, the forefathers, at that time you come back down again and be born in this material world again, in the full material world. But in the you fall down again born in exactly the same family as you were before. That family, you had the same gotra, you had the same. The families stick together like this. They're going up and down between the material to earthly planet and the future loka. And as soon as the sons forget or they stop worshipping their grandfather, then he has to come to the material world. So he's born again exactly in that same environment, same family, same gotra, same rishi. The life is slowly progress. The defect here is, although you are born a debt and you have to pay it off, if you do pay it off, that means you become a servant, inkara. You're worshipping the forefathers, you're worshipping the demigods because it's paying off the debt. So, what is the problem here? What does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? If you worship the Pitras, go to the planet of the Pitras, forefathers. You worship the Devatas, you go to the planets of the Devatas. But if you worship me, you will come to me, Krishna. So, it is the, what do they say? You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you don't worship, it's not proper, you're not doing your duty, your dharma properly. And if you do worship, again you come back and take birth in the material world. You haven't solved the real problem of life, of birth and death, and going back to Godhead. So this is the Vedic nonsense. Of course, the Vedas are not nonsense, but we are nonsense. But there are these different processes in this world, and the different rishis teach these different ways and traditions, and have this knowledge of their family rishi. Rishi means saintly persons. So in this way, they slowly, if they have the desire, of course, then they can slowly get out of the material entanglement. If they're fortunate enough to meet a devotee, like Radha or others, and like Prabhupada, we are so fortunate now. We know how to act. We know why we should be acting. We know what the universe is for. We know we're here for. So this is the benefit of meeting a pure devotee. And outside of meeting a devotee is very, very almost impossible to understand what's going on here. This material energy is very difficult to understand. Very difficult. We experience practically daily difficulties we are facing. So only by meeting a devotee, the grace of meeting a devotee like Narada. There is the story of Ambarish. Maharaj Ambarish was a great king, devotee king. And he met Narad Muni, and he asked him, Ambarish asked Narad Muni, he said, I've got a brother. He's really mean. He hates Vaishnavas. But I don't know if you ever meet him, maybe you could help him. I'd like to see him become a devotee, but it's impossible. He doesn't like devotion. He doesn't like anything. So, but anyway, if you get the chance to meet him, you can maybe preach to him. So one day, Narad, he was in that vicinity. He said, "Oh, Ambarish's brother lives here nearby, so I'll go and see him." So he went to see Ambarish's brother. Before he got very close to the house, Ambarish was picking up stones and they're throwing them at Narada Muni. Get out of here, what are you doing? Just one of these lazy people who don't like to work, who don't contribute to society. And he's hurling all kinds of abuse and rocks at Narada Muni has to retreat. She's running backwards because these stones are being thrown. So then Narada Muni he shouts out, what? He says to his brother that, what is the what did he say? What is the value of one moment's association with a devotee, Krishna? So he shouted out to Ambarish, what is the value of one association of one moment with a devotee? Then Narada had to run out of fear of his life, trying stones at him. So anyway, when that brother left his body, he went to Yamaraj, and Yamaraj said, there's no end to your sins. There's no end to it. And so you're not going to see the light of day, I don't think, for God knows how long. Anyway, you have any last requests? So suddenly he remembered what Narada Muni told him. He said, yes. He said, what is the value of one moment's association with a pure devotee? So Yamaraj was thinking about it. He said, that's a good question. I can't really answer it. Let's go and ask Lord Brahma. So they went to Brahmaloka, and they said, we have a question. That what is the value of one moment's association with a pure devotee? Lord Brahma was thinking, he was scratching his forehead. He said, I cannot estimate that. I don't know what you can estimate it. Let's go and ask Vaishnava, Lord Shiva. He's the greatest Vaishnava. So Brahma and Narada, they all go up to the Ambarish's brother. They go up to Shiva Loka. And Shiva Loka said, no, I cannot answer this. Only Vishnu will be able to answer this question. So come, we'll all go to Vishnu Loka. So Shiva, Brahma, they all went to Vishnu Loka. And they said, we have this question, but it can't be answered. And said, the question is, what is the value of one moment's association with the pure devotee? And Krishna was thinking about it. It's that there is no value. Nobody can estimate that value. Nobody can estimate it. So I'm sorry, I can't help you. Okay. And we'll go back. So Shiva was going back to Shiva, Brahma was going to Brahmaloka. And he said, well, what about this Ambarish's brother? What about him? And Vishnu said, well, he's here now. Oh, he might as well stay here. So that was the value of one moment's association with the pure devotee, that he was so simple, yet he got all the way back to Godhead simply by remembering that what his Ambrish brother had told him, or Narada Muni had told him. But that's the value of one moment's association. Take even the most sinful person back to Godhead. So these universal sages, Maitreya, or these Narada, Marichi, really think they're doing a good service, and they are doing a good service for the universe. If you want to stay in the universe. So they're teaching the codes of Dharma. Teaching the codes of Dharma. And they think it's really, really important work for us. So there's Radha and Krishna. It's in the Puji work book, Rachika Pradeep. It's from Hari Bhakti Vilas. And it's a meditation of Krishna and his different potencies. And it describes how Krishna is there in Vrindavan, beneath the Kalpabriksha tree, desire-fulfilling trees, and every step is a dance, every word is a song. Transcendental realm trees are these are Kalpabriksha, they're desire-fulfilling trees. Simply ask, you can get. And Krishna is there, sitting very relaxed on the couch, with his fingers on his flute, playing the fifth note. And beautiful black curling hair, his lotus-like eyes, his yellow hoodie, ornaments, sabamani. The description of Krishna is very comfortable and relaxed, and playing the flute, and the other entities are attracted to Krishna. The description of Krishna there in the center, and there's all the, like the baby calves and everything are there with little blankets on their backs, and they're running around butting each other, and they have foam in their mouth where they're been chewing. They have grass also in their teeth, between their teeth, which they've been chewing. And the big bulls are there, they're walking very lazily, slowly towards Krishna. He's playing the flute, and it's like nectar. The sound of the flute is like nectar. So the big bulls, they put out their noses and they flare their nostrils as if they're drinking that nectar from the flute of Krishna. So, and then these small babies, they're whispering words, and they can't speak yet. They're making little sounds that are very sweet for the parents. And others, they have little tiger claws around the neck to protect them. They have little bells tied around their waist, and their fat bellies, like little babies. And you get boys, Krishna's boyfriends are there, they're the same age like Krishna. They're all playing on flutes and peanuts and dancing, and as boys they're all having a good time there. And and the younger Gopi girls, they're approaching Krishna, and their eyes are half closed because they're not supposed to be looking at Krishna, but they cannot help, so they close their eyes, half closed eyes, and they're approaching Krishna, but their body's trembling. Different parts of their bodies is trembling. They're trying very hard to sustain the trembling movements of waist and bodies, but they can't do it. And they have waist bells on and ankle bells. They're jingling and they're trying to control, but they cannot do it. But anyway, they slowly approach Krishna, and therefore they're also the book is a bit at the back. In the front, it's the different avatars in Kama Shiva Indra. These are chanting different mantras and everything for wealth. Representing Artha, we get these Kama, Karma, Artha, Moksha. controllers of the universe, so this is their field, is their scene in this whole universe, where they maintain and manage it. So the arata need arata for maintaining money. So they're representing arata. And all the different munis here, their purpose is to establish the different codes of Dharma, different types of Dharma in the universe. And behind them there's the yogendras who are in charge of, or aspiring after mukti, material happiness, or not material happiness, liberation. And then you get living entities like the Gandharvas, the Chinnaras, the Sharas, like that, all the demigods who are they're looking for happiness, pure happiness. What karma? They want karma. So dancing and playing music, this is for happiness. They're spending their lives like that. So what is displaying here is a picture of Krishna along with his different energies. Actually, they use it as a meditation before doing puja. But so Krishna's in the center, and then all the different grades of his devotees, like the gopis, and you get the Madhurya Rasa is there. You get the elderly gopis are there. That's the parental relationships are there, and the friend, the Shakya Rasa, the friend, the boys are there playing and everything. They're representing Shakya and Shanta, or the different other living entities there. And the demigods, so the demigods there, they're all aspiring for wealth and economic development. So it's a picture of the Lord along with his different energies. This is a meditation. All these rishis are, they're needed. They're part of the creation. They're part of the universe. They help. It is their service, universal service. So it's Krishna and his energies. Karma after karma moksha, principles. Doing the Dharma, and then you get economic. Like doing Dharma properly, you get artha. From Dharma comes artha, your money, wealth. It's coming from dharma, from religious activities. What you get in this life is of the Dharma you performed in your last life. You get the artha, the wealth. It is paid in this life. You work for it in last life, and you get the results in this life. So it's all very scientifically worked out how the universe is maintaining. So anyway, we have the great sages there like Narad Muni and others, and they're establishing the real purpose of the Vedas, to actually go back to Godhead, not to stay in this material world. So if you want happiness in this world, you follow the Vedic system. You won't get more happy than you won't get any more happiness than you get by following the Vedic system. So if you follow the codes of Dharma and the Vedic, you get more happiness in life than trying to invent some other method of process of becoming happy. Anyway, Narad's being created again, and now he's going to do his service to Krishna in awaken all the living entities, Krishna consciousness. This is the Lord's great mercy there. The demigods were standing around Lord. Demigods, but the sages, great sages, when Lord Vishnu was sleeping, want to wake him up, so they stand around the Lord and they chant his glories. And then he wakes up and he's hearing his glories. You are king such and such. You defeated this king, you defeated that king, you've got big empire, you've got 1,000 elephants, you've got... and then the king wakes up like that and he hears his reciters around him reciting all of his glories as he wakes up feeling very good because his Kshatriya there. Pride is one of the symptoms of a Kshatriya. So they wake up, yes, very great king. But similarly, when Vishnu is lying on the ocean, his devotees surround him, ask him to wake up, and they're chanting his glories also. They're chanting the glories of Vishnu. Then they say, of all of your glories, your greatest glory is that you have mercy on all the living entities in the world. So you please wake up now from your sleep and manifest this world and give all the children of yours an opportunity to become Krishna conscious and go back to Godhead. This is your greatest mercy on the living entity. So ultimately this is the purpose of the great sages and their teaching is live with the living entities. Krishna wants us all to come back home, back to Godhead. It is by your rotting in this material world. Go back to that place where there's no birth, no death, no old age, no disease. Only Krishna and Krishna's pastimes. So these, the meaning, there is meaning to life when we understand who we are and what our purpose is in relation to Krishna. Otherwise, nobody really knows what is the meaning of life. Happiness is the real meaning, but they don't know how to get there, what kind of happiness. So Mahaprabhu comes and he gives that greatest happiness. Raja Bhakti, which is never given before. Krishna is so kind that he even gives very rare, even to fallen living entities of Kali Yuga. So here is a special time since the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that we get that opportunity to practice Krishna consciousness and go back home, back to God. Otherwise we would never know if it wasn't for the great sages and devotees like Prabhupada to come and bless us all with the correct teachings and correct way to serve Krishna for his pleasure. So Narad Muni ki jai.
Aye.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Yeah.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. So we have some devotees who would like to ask you a question, Prabhu.
Okay.
Krishna Prabhu, please unmute yourself.
Hi, Krishna Maharaj, my humble obeisances.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you for a nice class. My question is on the verse of where Prabhupada is talking about the rishis and the sages. So my question is, we always read in the Bhagavatam about the sages and the rishis. Why is it that the sages are always after teaching people how to become devotees, while most of them really are not into pure devotional service?
No, why there are so many paths in different aspects, it's because the living entities have many different paths and ways. Otherwise, Krishna is just saying, think of me, become my devotee, offer everything to me. Sarvadanam parityaja mam saranam braja. Why didn't Krishna just write, Bhagavad Gita as it is with 2 slokas, Mana Avamad Bhakto and Sarvadanam parityaja? And why bother if that's what Krishna wants? And why Krishna is explaining all these different other processes of Dhyan, meditation, sense control, realization of Paramatma, all these different processes he's teaching, is because the living entities, they're attached to doing things their own way. So therefore Krishna has created these different systems for those people who want to practice. They're not ready to become Krishna conscious. They don't want to become Krishna conscious. So they want to do it their own way. So therefore we have many systems. It's not that Krishna didn't want to create it or didn't want to create, but it's that he wanted to these persons who think that they got to put away that creation. He's created these processes for those persons. So Nityananda Prabhu explains in the Navadip Mahatma, he's explained to Jiva Goswami how Lord Chaitanya came with the greatest message of love of God, Raja Bhakti, greatest love of Godhead. And Nityananda Prabhu said they danced and they chanted and they just gave freely to anyone and everyone. Some fortunate persons, they accepted the process. And others, they could not accept it. So, Thakur says that he said, let's examine why the unfortunate persons couldn't accept it. Fortunate ones could accept it. If they couldn't, they were unfortunate. They had the opportunity. But let's examine why they're unfortunate. He said that they're unfortunate because they were probably proud of their own intelligence. They're thinking, I'm doing everything my way. My way is the best way. And so they couldn't accept what Nityananda Prabhu and Mahaprabhu were giving freely. They stuck to some other process. So Krishna fulfills their desires also. They want to do it different ways. So Krishna has presented all these different philosophies and everything in Bhagavad Gita. It's for the living entities who want to follow that path, whatever path they've chosen or they've manufactured. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, we have His Grace Sadeh Prabhu. Wants to ask you a question also, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu, please ask your question.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Well, again, thank you for blessing our platform. My question is in regards to Srila Prabhupada saying that his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta, after completing his service on this earth,
went to a different planet to continue the same service. We are struggling everything possible we can to go back home. We don't want to be in this crazy world anymore. And Shukadev Goswami actually was so much afraid of this world, he didn't want to come out of his mother's womb. Mother Sita was so tired of what she had to go through with Ram, Lakshman in the forest. And so she told Ram, please, my Lord, never this again. So my question is, why would Krishna send same souls back into this material world and continue to suffer? I mean, like we all know, of course you know better than all of us, how Srila Prabhupada suffered. And if Krishna has to send Srila Prabhupada to another material world for him to suffer like that, I don't think that is kind of Krishna. He could send somebody else.
When Prabhupada was he's in America, and then he got sick after some kind of sickness, and he went back to America, but he was praying, I think, to Rukmini Gopadish, and he was praying that I'm going back now to India, and but I have because of my health, yes, go back. He said that now Krishna consciousness is just taking off in America. Everybody's getting excited. There's thousands of people coming, and we're having these big Rath Yatras. It's really taking off now. So if I go back, it would be very difficult. Now it's really good. And then Krishna said to me that, okay, if you want to stay in that horrible place, if you want to stay there, you can stay there. He said Krishna gave him, he said you can stay there. He asked him to say, he said Krishna asked me to come back, and he said, don't worry, I will build you a very nice temple there. Prabhupada said they got temples in America. He said, I'll build you a very nice temple you can stay in India. And anyway, Prabhupada said, okay, if you want to stay in that rotten place. So it's more of the devotee's desires actually to come back out of compassion. They want to come back to preach Krishna consciousness. It's more that than Krishna is asking of sending them back here. At the end of Prabhupada's pastimes, Krishna said, Krishna has given me the choice. I can stay or I can go. So, they're not actually being sent by Krishna, but the devotees voluntarily come forward. This is the very advanced devotees, we see their qualities. Like Vasudeva Tata. He wanted to deliver the whole universe, and he should come and take all the karmas of everyone. Mahaprabhu liked that attitude. So the devotees have that selfless attitude. The Vaishnava, he doesn't live for himself, he lives for others. So that's very, very exalted consciousnesses, but they are shown. They actually have adopted that attitude of compassion for all living entities, that they're willing to come back again and again. That's okay. If you have a choice, some people say, well, some people ask Prabhupada that we want to come back here and serve you birth after birth. And Prabhupada said, oh, then that means I'll have to come back also. If you want to come back, it means I'll have to come back also. Yeah, it's more the kindness of his that he come when Prabhupada was in Bombay towards the end. He was very sick that time, and one personality from the Sri Sampradaya, Ramanuja Sampradaya, he came to see Prabhupada and he said, you know why you're suffering? He said, because you're accepting too many unqualified disciples, so you have to, that's why you're suffering for this. And Prabhupada said to him, I came here to suffer. Anyway, they would also ask, we want to come back and serve you birth after birth, Prabhupada. If you have a choice, if you have the ability, that if you can make a choice, you want to stay and want to go, that's okay. But otherwise, Prabhupada's emphasis was go back home, back to Godhead. Don't stay in this material world, it's a risky place. Develop your love for Krishna, go back home. That was Prabhupada's. He came to deliver the fallen souls, not the liberated souls also. Yeah, but this is the compassion of a Vaishnava. You're willing to come back. Thank you, Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. We really appreciate your time and your association. We hope to see you again on our platform. I don't know if Srivas Prabhu have something to say.
Shivash?
Krishna.
Haribol. Nice to see you again. He just got anointed. Shivash was just anointed. Son of Srila Prabhupada in the temple to make disciples.
Have your darshan.
He's taken
from
such responsibility.
Africa.
You have to take these living entities back to God as Shivash. You're accepting
Thank
this
you very much.
responsibility as becoming Guru.
Thank you for giving your support. Actually, Prabhu facilitated the vows in Mayapur. When I was in Mayapur, and Prabhu facilitated the vows of initiating. We're happy to have him on our platform. Actually, many devotees do not know him. He is the head pujari in Mayapur. He has been serving Sri Radha Mataji and the Astasaki for over 40 years. And the Srimad Bhagavatam, serving them over 40 years. He has been, such intimate service with the deities in our head office. So Prabhupada asked him and his brother, he has a twin brother, Pankajagri Prabhu. They are doing such wonderful service in Mayapur, and they're actually maintaining the whole organization. Prabhupada says, so long as Radharani is dancing, this movement goes on. As soon as Radharani stops dancing, the whole movement falls apart. And Jananivas Prabhu and his brother, they are making Radharani dance every day. By their beautiful service, beautiful dresses, and beautiful things. So we are very grateful, and we are so fortunate to have darshan of Jananivas Prabhu. We pray that he will come back again and give us His holy darshan. Thank you, Prabhu. We are grateful for your presence.
Dashoshmi, thank you for your sweet words. Gauranga Nanda.
Once all devotees to please unmute themselves. Let us appreciate Prabhu by loudly chanting one Hare Krishna mantra. So,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.